down. I got to share this. Celebration equals appreciation increases validation. Celebration equals appreciation increases validation. For who? For you. If you do not celebrate even the hard work you do, you don't appreciate the work you've done. And in real estate, when something appreciates, what does that mean? It goes up in value. So imagine Liz does all this work, and she doesn't even appreciate any of it. She gets to the end, she's like, that was the dumbest thing I've ever done. She depreciated and undervalued her work, which means she undervalued what she did, which means she couldn't even see the value and benefit. This is why you do a weekly coaches corner. Some of you guys are like, why would I do a weekly coaches corner? I'm just going to keep working. How about you stop, return report, and look back at the last 7 days and be like, damn, I did good. There's sometimes with my sons where instead of being like, Judah, I'm like, stop. Whew, shift. Oh, man. And I can celebrate in the moment. If you do not celebrate the good things you do, you will not appreciate it. And if you don't appreciate it, what's the likelihood of you repeating it? High or low? Behavior that is rewarded is repeated. Not just for your children, for you. Which means, Liz, if you don't just appreciate all the work and just really give it the value, there's no validation, which means it props up your worthiness and you're like, I can do this and I belong and I did it. When I did my half marathon in 19, I had this huge medal. I'm telling you, it was like massive. I was like, 3 days. Go to church. They're like, what is that? My half marathon medal. And I have a sister, her name is Coco. She won a gold medal last year at Utah Summer Games. She wore her gold medal for like a week straight. And people laugh at it. You ought to start wearing your gold medals. Judah last year, Judah did this track meet and he won all these medals, and we show up to Missouri and I hear this clink, 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 and he opens up and he's like, he pulls out all his medals, he puts them on, he's like, I'm gonna go show Papa. And I'm like, what the? I'm like, no. Let him feel and appreciate. What would happen if you started to appreciate the work that you do? What would happen? Say it again? Happier. You'd be happier. Would you do more or less? You do more and you'd actually get better. So thank you for bringing that up about celebration. Love it. 2 clap. I'm going to shift gears here with a little bit of time that I have left. I want to talk about this thing. So why do I bring up the problems we face? If you have your problem, did everyone raise your hand if you kind of identified a problem, challenge, or obstacle in the conversation, okay? Good. What I'm about to share with you will not be accomplished because of the thing that you wrote down or discussed. When you walk inside of our office at the HQ, now we have 2 offices, so the main office, on the left-hand wall, there are 3 phrases. Does anyone know what the first phrase is? Can anyone remember? It's 2 words, BW. Build wealth. Write this down. Ready? How am I doing at building wealth? How am I doing at building wealth? I'm gonna go big picture for a moment. Like, we don't just put stuff on our walls because it sounds good. Building wealth. Now, if you're young, you're like, I'm just trying to figure out who I am. I'm just trying to get a girlfriend. I'm just trying to start in varsity football. I'm just trying to figure out how to talk to someone. Like, wealth is not just money. But for now, I'm talking about this thing called money. How many of you would like to have more wealth, financial wealth? Raise your hand. Okay. What I'm about to share with you, I want you to keep in mind that obstacle that's holding you back. And frame what I'm about to share with you like we're going to overcome this to get that. How am I at building wealth? I'm going to assume for just a moment that you want to be wealthy. I'm not going to talk about why you should be wealthy. I'm not going to talk about money. I'm going to assume that you're with me right here where it's like, I want more money. I'd like to have more money. In fact, everyone in your journals, I want you to write down, again, it requires you to be real. Take some courage right now. If you don't want anyone to see, just cover it up. I want you to write down the exact number of cash that you have in your bank accounts that's liquid today. If you're to pull out your wallet or your phone and just open up your account, I want you to be real. What is the cash in my bank account today? What is the current reality of the cash in my bank account today? Not stocks, not real estate, cash in the bank. Write that number down. You don't have to show anyone. I'm not going to make you show anyone. Everyone got their number? Be real. It could be your business account. It could be your personal account. It could be savings, just cash. I have like 3 bank accounts. So I open up my bank accounts and apps, and I can see all the different accounts. And I'm not saying you should go have 3 bank accounts. I just have accounts. Now, I want you to do this. If you look at that number, okay, I want you to ask yourself, how am I doing on building wealth? Doing what you're currently doing. I mean, when I say doing, the job, your work production, your marketing, your sales, your deal flow, your lead flow, your cash flow, your teams, your systems. If you continue to do what you're doing today, what will that number look like 10, 20, or 30 years from now? And it requires you to think right now. If you continue to just, nothing changes. You just keep doing what you're doing. Scroll, Facebook, call, Zoom. You just, working 80 hours a week. Does your wealth go up or does it go down? Yeah. 10 years, 20 years, 30 years from now. Again, I want you to just contemplate for a minute. And thank you, I love you. You're like, it goes down. How are you at building wealth? Now, here's what I want you to do. Current trajectory, meaning, Setema just keeps doing what I do. And even I know in about 10 years, Spencer's going to be 60. And I'm going to be 56. But I need you to do this with me, okay? Again, you got to think. 10 years from now, if I just keep doing what I'm doing, based upon write this down, ready? Write these things, again, just keep writing. How I earn, I'll write it down with you. Earn, save, spend, invest, share. Based upon how you currently earn, save, spend, invest, and share. Based upon your current reality of how you do this, where will you be 10 years from now? Don't kid yourself. Where will you be 20 years from now? And just write this down, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. Write it down. Where will you be? How much will you have? And the reason I say 30 years from now, because in 30 years, I'm going to be in my mid-70s. And we talk about this, casting this 30-year vision. I need you to have a real good hard look at this, my friends. Will you be wealthy? Or will you be like most people who downsize, downgrade, slow down, and throw up a prayer and a wish? I'm going to give you 2 minutes on your tables. You don't have to discuss numbers. I just want you to be like, I like where I'm going to be. I don't like where I'm going to be. Something's got to change. Ooh, this is what's coming up for me. Because if any of you think, hey, government cares, they really care about me. That Social Security check I'm going to get from them is going to be big. If any of you think that you're going to have more physical capacity and different, in 30 years, unless you've really done it right, I already know for me, I'm looking at it whoo, I look at my dad. My dad's in his mid-70s. He's homebound, he can't go anywhere. I can't fly him anywhere because he cannot. My stepfather, my other dad, he's in his early 80s. He's like, man, son, he's like, how old you are is how old I was when I met your mom. He's like, son, he's like, listen to me. Get ready. It goes so fast. So give you 2 minutes on your tables. I want you to be real. You guys be real with each other. 10, 20, 30. Just be like, hey, based upon what I'm currently doing, I don't like this. Or I like this. Or, oh, shit. Clear? To love you forever. Do you know who that song is by? Tevin Campbell. Okay. All right. Guys, we're having some real conversation stuff you would not normally discuss. So I just want 2 shares, rapid fire, like what's coming up for you as we're talking about wealth and 10, 20, 30, and currently doing what you're doing. Like, and I need you to be real. There was a time when I did this exercise and I'm like, I don't like it. I will not be the guy who gets into my 60s and 70s and worries about money. I will not be the guy that has to downsize. I will not. I refuse. I will be the man who continues to expand and give. Like, this is my game. When we go to Utah, which we go for a month, we we give money out. Like, we just give it out. Nieces, nephews, camps. Like, I'm like, here, I got it. I got it. That's what I want to do. If I'm not doing it now, I won't do it then. So I have a habit. So, who's got something like profound or like, oh my gosh? Randy, what you guys want to say? What's up, Randy?
So what would you do if you and your wife see savings as different? Like, you assume it's cash in the bank, but to me, if I have cash in the bank, I'm going to spend it intentionally on something that I think is a good idea. So it could be something along with like stocks, or I'll put it, if I have $25,000, if I have $50,000 in the bank every single time, I even say it all the time, if I have $100,000, $200,000, I'm going to spend it every single time.
And how does your wife see it?
She sees it that way, but if it's in the bank, it'll end up gone either way. So I might as well spend it in something that makes sense, right? Like.
So just, again, for you, it's just simple. It's like you guys, my wife and I, were a little bit different in how we see money. What does my wife want? My wife, I just ask, what does she want? My wife wants to see X amount in the bank. She just needs to see X amount. It gives her some security. Because as an entrepreneur, this would happen. Our money would go like this, and then go down here, because I knew I was putting money in. So we'd go down to like damn near zero. And I already knew, we got all these deals, and my wife's like, what the hell's going on? And I finally had to communicate with her. It's coming, but she couldn't see it. So then I said, what would make you feel good? And she's like, X amount. So if you saw X amount in the bank account, you'd be great. She's like, yeah. So, especially if you're a woman who, my wife, she's a professional pickleball player. She's on her way. So when you see her, if you guys see my wife, just say, hey, how's pickleball? When are you going pro? You guys do that? That's all my wife needed to see. And I communicated to my wife, again, communication, clarity, baby, I'll give you that amount, and then you let me go invest and do all this other thing to grow. And she's like, I trust you. So Spencer said, I was in Utah a few weeks ago. And I'm sitting and I'm like talking to this coach. I get on the call with him and I'm real. Yeah, how much? He's like, 25 grand, it's gonna be about 5 grand to get here for about 4 hours with him. I'm like, good, send me the link, send him the money. I'm like, now in the past, 10 years ago, I'd have to go to my wife and be like, you look so nice today. So there's this coach, there's this program, and we'd have to talk about it. And now she trusts me to do with the money what a man is supposed to do with the money, which is go grow it. So you guys ought to have a conversation, be like, baby, what would make you feel good? What would make you just feel so good? And when you're a producer, you got that dog in you. Once you fulfill what she wants, then you go conquer and do what you got to do to grow it. But for most women, at least from my experience, and how many of you nod your head if you're a woman, if you could look at the bank account and be like, we're good. So my wife has an account that has for her. This is for me. I didn't start here. She has to have 50K in her account. Hers. She can do whatever she want to do. And then in our joint account, there's X amount. And then in our kids' account, we continue to put money in. And I've learned so much of this from Spencer. But if my wife sees X amount in the account, she's good. She doesn't care what I do. Got to have this conversation, because you're going to go hunt buffalo, and the worst thing you can do as a man is while you're hunting buffalo, your wife's at home like, I don't know if this is going to work. You need her energy, and you need her support, and you need her love, and I needed my wife's. So while I'm out hunting, there's no erosion at home, and my wife's like, okay, we're good. Make sense? 2 clap. Get one more share. Who's got an insight, something you're seeing from just this activity of sharing and looking at zeros in a bank account, or lack of, or future trajectory? Nathan Pies, what you got? Let's go. Everyone say hello, Nathan.
Hello, Nathan.
So my wife and I had a discussion Wednesday morning about this discussion about money in the bank, and she doesn't feel like she knows what's going on in my business. So she doesn't have that comfort level. So I think this is one of the answers that I needed to say, hey, what level of comfort will be good for you, so we can do what I need to do. Because, you all know that I went and spent several grand on Invisalign, and she's like, the kids need braces too. And I'm like, okay, let's get kid braces. She goes, but I don't feel like I could do that without, so, and I'm like, oh hell, what did I don't feel like I gave her that impression, but that's how she felt, and I'm like, oh crap. So that's a discussion I have to go back when I go back home. Okay, this is what level of comfort what amount of money do you need in the account to have a comfort level so we can do what we need to do. So.
And another word of comfort, try this on, certainty. Certainty, power. What would give you just this certainty, like, we got this? And especially for you, because my wife was the same way. My wife would not go and buy anything for herself because she felt guilty. And I'm like, just on Sunday, she's like, God, I don't have any new dresses. Well, go buy some. Go. She's like, I just can't. Like, she still is, and it's okay. I give her permission. So go have these crucial conversations and give her permission. And as a man, go and hunt. You want to know what gives wife some, again, if we go back to the days when if every day you walk with a big ass buffalo. Well, this is not as big as the last one, but there's another buffalo. And the next day you're like, I got 2 buffaloes today. After a while, your wife's like, man, my man can hunt. He can go get it. Go get the Invisalign. And I'll get braces too. You do that, go hunt. Thank you. 2 clap. Last thing before we go into the model, take the number that you wrote down that's in your current money. I want you to add a 0. Let's add a 0. Look at that number. Do you like that number with the 0 behind it? Now, add another 0. How does that number make you feel? All we did was add 2 zeros. Now, what came up for some of you as you did that? Real talk. What came up when you were like, 0? Another 0? What did you feel? Shannon. I love her response, because that's for a lot of people. That's really hard work. Which leads me, how many of you felt that? Who else felt something other than that's really hard work? And so what'd you feel? Like, let's get a mic, please. Mike Berg. Right here. What came up for you as I said add 2 zeros?
Adrenaline.
Adrenaline. And what, talk more. Like, what do you mean?
Excitement. I want to go get it. I want to have it. I need it.
Okay, who else felt the adrenaline, the excitement of the pump? Stand up if you felt that. Just stand up if you felt that. Okay, I love the realness. Now, just stop. Just take a look. Just look around. There's no judgment. There's no right or wrong. It's just a feeling. Okay? Have a seat. If you didn't stand up, what did you feel? Christina, let's go Christina, then Michelle, then Hope.
The first 0 felt like it gave me a little bit of relief, and then the second 0, it was like, oh yeah, I'm good, the certainty. So the first 0 was relief, the second 0 was certainty that I'm solid.
Okay, I love it. 2 clap. Go to Rochelle. What did you feel, Rochelle? You added 2 zeros.
It's not enough. I need more.
So guess what you get to do right now? Add
like 5 more zeros.
Okay, So add 5 more zeros. Look, okay, like people are laughing, that's fun. I get, right now on the number, write the 0 on there that would make sense for you. Just be honest. Give yourself permission. Give yourself permission. How many zeros would it have to be? And I'm not a guy. Setema's not a guy right now. I'm not thinking about billions. That's not me. I have a buddy who's texting me right now. He's on the path to billions. And we do a lot of stuff together. That for me, it's nothing. But I do have a number that's like, and it means something to me. All right.
The first 0, I was like, okay.
Hey, what's your first name for everybody?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm Hope.
Everyone say hello, Hope.
Hi. So the first 0, I was like, okay, maybe. The second 0, I was like, I do not know how to get that to that.
Who else felt that? Stand up if that came up for you. I don't know how to do that. That seems hard. That seems okay. Just pause for a moment. I thank you. First of all, thank you for standing being real. It takes courage to just be like, whew. This is how transformation takes place when you get real. Mama Ann, good to see you, sweetheart. So, thank you. So, Hope, thank you. 2 clap. Have a seat. Whether it's 1, 2, or 3 zeros, I'm about to show you a model here before we then take a break and have you teach. Again, this is a model to help you to see something. When we talk about building wealth, okay, there's 5 steps. And again, I want you just to be open to this, okay? So along your journey of building wealth, right, along this path of building wealth. Again, I'm going to assume that you're good with money. I mean, you just like to have more. Like Shannon, it's like right now, your paradigm or the obstacle is like here. If you think I have to work way more hours to get there, I got to shift that. And that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to call this pitfall number 1. There's these pitfalls on the game of building wealth. And when I say wealth, I'm not, spiritual, relational, physical. I'm talking today about money. Pitfall number 1 is that you are stuck in society's lame game. What is society's, and you're stuck, right? Let me underline this word with the evil color here, red, okay? Stuck, what does that mean? Right now, most people are stuck in society's lame game, which means have a job, get a paycheck, invest a little bit, retire at 65 to 70 years old, live on less than I earned, hope to stay relevant, hope and pray the stock market and all these other things just work out. And throw up a prayer and a wish. And I pray, I'm a praying man. So please, when I say that, don't think I'm putting prayer down. I pray always. Society's game is to keep you stuck, is to make a few people up here very, very wealthy. How many of you would agree? Society's lame game is go to a job that you hate, that sucks the life out of you. Force yourself to do this thing. And you have to do it all by yourself. And hopefully one day when you can barely walk and your bones are like, maybe you can go travel and do things. And you shouldn't buy brand new cars because they depreciate the moment you drive them off the lot. That is the lamest game I've ever heard of. How many of you know someone stuck in this right now? How many of you feel stuck in this right now? And this is not just like having a job. This is for some people, they are the employee in their business, which leads us to pitfall number 2. Pitfall number 2. What's a pitfall, by the way? Trap. Hole. Walking along, oh shoot, and you're stuck. So pitfall number 2 is you get stuck. Here we go. Now, before I move on, I just got to say this. I don't have anything about someone being an employee. Not at all. We need employees. to run my business, I have to have employees. Not everyone is built like this. Can you hear me? The dreams and the desires of your heart to add 1 or 2 or 3, or in Rochelle's case, 5 zeros, that doesn't make us better and it doesn't make us right. It just makes us, this is what we want. Can you hear me? I don't ever want to create this distinction of like employees and people who have a job. No, because I love driving up to In-N-Out and then repeating my order at the first window, and then doing my Apple Pay, and then going to the second window, then they repeat my order again, and then they, like, I love that. This world needs people who are not entrepreneurial, but they love their job. And what I'm about to talk about here applies to them as well. But if you're here and you're listening to me right now, I'm talking about building wealth. So in the next 10 to 20, 30 years, hell, in the next 5 years, some of you are like, dude, I was at Atlanta in the Circle of Champions Flying Friday, and we added a 0. Oh shit, it's happening. Or 2 zeros, or 3. And I'm not saying this just to say it. I need you to feel me on this. Can you feel it? So, pitfall number 1, we got to get out of the lame game. This ain't the game we playing. Pitfall number 2 is you get stuck as a unsuccessful, struggling, 2 G's in there, business operator. Smooth operator. Okay. So let's say you're like, I'm not going to play the lame game society. I'm going to be an entrepreneur, and I'm going to do my own thing. Who in here has ever had that dream? I'm going to do my own thing. I'm not going to work for the man. I'm going to be the man or the woman. Pitfall number 2 is where you get stuck. Let's use the evil color red. As an unsuccessful or struggling business operator. Smooth operator. Every time I say this word, I'm singing that. What does this mean? You're entrepreneurial, but your business is struggling because you are the operator and you are missing 3 key components. Who does not know the difference between an operator and an owner? Okay, that's a dumb question. Let me just ask it like this. You can tell if you are an operator or an owner because the owner can take off. You guys are owners. Chris and Amy Breen are owners. They took off and they've been on vacation and vacation and trips, and they're clients, and they're like, I'm on another trip. I'm like, we'll see you in Atlanta. And they're not on their trips like this. Oh shit. I'm coming. I'm doing this for you guys. Just let me do this work while I'm on vacation. I went to Hawaii in 2014, like a year after I started this. And Hawaii is a time difference. And I'm in Hawaii running like 8 pod calls. I was building. I started at like 3 in the morning for my East Coast people. And I get done about 1 o'clock. I'm on vacation operating my unsuccessful business. Who in here can relate? On vacation, but you're not on vacation because you're on your phone and you're worried about what's going on at home. Now, how do we solve this problem? Well, first of all, how do we solve problem number 1? Get out of the game. Play a different game. Entrepreneurial, operator to owner to empire builder. Pitfall number 2, you're struggling as a business operator. How do we solve this game? Here we go. Write this thing down, okay? As an operator, smooth operator. Some of you guys are like, stop, Tim. There's 3 things that your business needs for you to operate it at a higher level, okay? I like to keep things simple. 1, 2, 3. As a struggling business operator, if you have these 3 things, you get to move on to the next level. If you don't have these 3 things, you stay stuck. You ready? Say, I'm ready. Number 1, you need marketing. Number 2, you need sales. Number 3, you need fulfillment. Now, let's talk about this for just a moment. How many of you right now, in your business, right now, when? Right now. That was weak. When? Right now. How many of you could benefit if you had a steady stream of hot and qualified leads calling you up and saying, hey, Malcolms, I want to buy a home. Hey, Malcolms, I want to invest more money in your real estate project. Hey, Malcolm, where's the inventory? We're ready to invest more money. Would you have a business problem at that point if you had people banging down your door? Myers, would you have a problem if people are like at your clinic facility, like, what time do you guys open? If there's a line of people camping out at like 8 a.m., they're like, what time does this dude open? We need some help. And if there was a line of people wrapped around your building waiting to get in, would you have a problem? I mean, you would, but would that be good for you? If you had emails flooding of leads, I want you to think about your business right now. What would happen if you had leads and marketing and the spigot was just boom, it was coming? What would happen if you just had people banging down your door, knocking on your door, emailing you, calling you? What would happen? You gotta grow. Say it again? You would grow. But how many of you right now struggle with just having leads? Raise your hand, be honest. Most businesses, they run out of cash because they don't know how to market and generate leads. A lead is someone who's like, I want what you have. I would like to get my hair done. I would like you to teach me how to do my hair. I would like to teach me how to build decks. If you had, real talk, 500 people that were like, we're ready to hire you right now, would that be a good problem to have? You need to master marketing. Yes or no? Number 2, sales. The struggling business operator does not have good sales processes. In fact, it's clunky, it's hard. Sales is really simple. Have some powerful conversations once you have a lead. And number 3, fulfill. Guys, this is, if I could just, someone's like, how do you do a business? Have a product, market it, sell, and fulfill. And if you do a really good job doing this, you get referrals. And if you can turn on paid ads or organic ads, you do really good. So grade yourself right now, marketing, sales, fulfillment on a scale of 1 to 10. 10 is, I got a big problem. I got too many leads. Sales, I need to hire salespeople. I don't have enough salespeople. And a 10 on fulfillment is, people are like, take my blank check, please. That's a 10. A 1 is like, what should I post on social media today? How do I generate leads? Grade yourself on each one of these. Let's go. Put a number, 1 to 10. Let's go. Let's go. Now, I'm not going to spend too much time here. I'm just going to tell you right now, if you can master marketing, if you can master sales, and you can master fulfillment, you got a pretty damn good business. Okay. Pitfall number 2, stuck, unsuccessful, struggling business operator. Smooth. Again, frame this through building wealth. We're building wealth. All right, pitfall number 3 is you are now a successful business operator. Smooth operator. This is pitfall number 3. Once you solve your marketing problem, and once you solve your sales problem, and once you got fulfillment locked in, you graduate to the next level of, okay, now I'm a successful business operator. I'm successful. I've got money. Who in here is at that phase right now? Raise your hand. Successful business operator. Like you're like, oh, I'm good. Here's the problem with pitfall number 3. Write this down. You lack trust, and you lack delegation, and you lack systems. You lack trust. I'll write it down too. Because if I don't write it down, you're like, it must not be that important. Lack trust. What's the second one? Delegation. What's the third one? Systems. Can you guys imagine Setema today trying to do this without my team? It don't work. I was doing this by myself before. It was small. We were like at the Holiday Inn with no banners, with no signs. It was just like, here we go. But now we got Tyler and his wife. We got Nikki, and we got Spence, and we got Willie and Berg, and like we got our coaches, Vaughn, and like our team. Like in your business right now, if you're a successful business operator, like you're really successful as a business operator, which means you're still operating the business, which means you're still doing, if an alien came and abducted you, what happens to the cash flow? What happens, Dr. Myers, if you and Jenna get wiped off the face of the planet?
Well, now it's better than it would have been, but it's still a struggle.
Yeah. So, how do we solve this? Systems, teams, delegation, standard operating procedures. Again, pause. Building what? Wealth. I never said this was going to be some cakewalk. I'm not the guru who's going to say, this is easy. There are levels beyond levels. If you're going to add 1, 2, or 3 zeros, you've got to understand what pitfall am I in right now? So how do I solve this problem right here? Teams, systems. Like you're like legit, you start to build a business and you work on the business. Which means this here, write this down, and I'm going to have you guys do a walk and talk or a share outside. Am I the person that people want to follow? Like, do I garner attention because of the vision? Do I inspire people to want to be better? Just ask yourself that right now, because if you don't have power, you're not recruiting people. If you don't have power, ain't nobody following you. If you don't have power, people ain't signing up. They're signing up with someone else. So, pitfall number 3, you're a successful business operator, you're good. But you're doing it all by yourself. Clear?
Let's go. See, it's more than the game that we changing. We don't do it for the block, do it for the name. Yeah. No, there ain't no stopping it. If you really want it, better rock with it. This is how to be a game changer. Better put your pride down.